Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
And I'm Mary.
And we're Book Buds.
Today, we're talking about our bookish resolutions that we had from last year, and we're going to set some new ones for 2024. So Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year.
Make sure you set some bookish resolutions because they're very satisfying. That's what I've found. I don't know if Joe agrees with me.
Very satisfying. Quite.
So, last year, we're just going to go cover one by one. Last year, I said I was going to finish The Land of Stories. We had both been reading it. It was unfinished, so I was going to finish it. And I did, and it was really good.
You liked it.
I liked it a lot.
Well, that gets me very excited because that was my New Year's resolution as well. And I didn't finish it. So I have so many books to look forward to. And it's so funny because at the end of the year, here we are. I'm trying to finish my resolution goals. It's on my night table. I told you that weeks ago.
I know.
Hasn't been opened.
And you just ignore it. You choose other things that are not on the list.
This happens all the time.
He's like, don't pressure me. Don't tell me what to read, woman.
Yeah, don't do that. So I'm excited.
Next one I said was Gwendy's Button Box by Stephen King.
Yeah.
That I had read the first book, and I think you had as well, and we were going to finish the series, and I was like, Joe, are you ever going to finish this? I said I would for New Year's, and I did. Was it one of your resolutions?
It was one of my resolutions, and I did not. I've only read the first one. And now, so some of these that I haven't completed, I'm just going to carry on to next year.
Yeah, but don't do this one.
I feel like I've lost interest in this.
Don't do this one, yeah. The Gwendy's Button Box, the first book was good, and I enjoyed the stories. The second book was written by somebody else, and it was less fabulous. And the third book was it was Stephen King again, but it was not as good as the first book. So you don't have to complete that resolution.
I kind of struck it from the record.
Yeah, I took that one for the team there. Okay. Next one, I said I was going to read Dorothy Must Die, and I think I added this to my resolutions because you were like, I'm going to finish Dorothy Must Die. And I was like, oh, I'll read that too. And I did.
And you read them all.
I read them all.
Except the novellas.
Except the novellas. And I liked them enough, but not rave reviews. But, Wizard of Oz fans would probably enjoy them, like Joe.
I'm a Wizard of Oz fan.
And did you complete this?
And I'm so excited to read these because, no, I haven't completed them yet. I have them all, even the novellas. They're all ready for me.
Really black and white here.
But I haven't done it yet.
Another resolution I had was that I was going to read your favorite book, The Clan of the Cave Bears.
Yes.
And you got so excited. And I had thought about reading it before, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And then I committed to it on camera.
Yep.
So like Mary follows through. I read it, and then I read the second and the third one.
Yeah.
I must say, so it's Clan of the Cave Bears by Jean Owl.
Yeah.
And I must say, the first book, I was not wanting to read it. I picked it up, and I was in agony. And
agony, my God. The drama.
She's describing the rocks. She's like, these rocks
trees
have notches in them.
Everything.
And they're etched with blah, 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 alongside the trees and the leaves and the berries.
She did a lot of research.
More rocks.
Lots of rocks and trees.
I was just overwhelmed with the descriptions that were not ending. And
we know this, and I warned you about that. But the story...
The story was beautiful.
It was great.
I really enjoyed the characters, and I would kind of skim with my eyes till I would get to the character part. And the characters were really wonderful. I loved that story. She wrote a beautiful story. And at the end of it, I was like, well, now I want to know what happens to her. So I kind of have to read book 2. And my goal was only to read the first book.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the second and third. I listened to them. And it made it much better for me because I didn't enjoy all that negative space of the rocks and the trees stuff. Mm-hmm. So listening to it irritated me less, and I was able to then still find out what happened to her and John Delar.
Yeah.
So it was cute.
But I have a question. When you were listening to it and she goes on and on for pages about the trees, did you skip or you just let it play?
No, I just let it play.
And that didn't bother you?
It bothered me less than if I was reading it.
Now, do you have a favorite of the 3?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I think, maybe when she met John Delar. Yeah. The second one. Yeah. That's a good one. It was a good one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 was good too, but there was too much tension and poor communication and whatnot. So maybe the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, mine too.
All right. So did you have a resolution you wanted to jump in with before I do another one?
You know what? You can go right ahead.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Do one more and then we'll come back to me.
All right. I said that I wanted to read a book by Robert Galbraith because it was J.K. Rowling's other pen name, and I had been wanting to, and I hadn't done it. So then I did, and I'm like, I started reading that, I think, in a book format, and then I went to audiobook to try to make it like faster and better. I didn't like it.
The Cuckoo's Calling.
Yes, The Cuckoo's Calling.
Yeah, I DNF'd that one years ago. I
Yeah,
was like,
so
ugh.
usually I continue out a series, and I'm not going to finish that. No way. I think I did. Yeah, I did finish the book. I did a video on it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
No, it fell short.
Yeah. So what else was on your resolution list?
Okay, so I wanted to finish some series that I had started.
Mm-hmm.
The Extraordinaries by T.J. Klune is one of them, as well as Green Creek by T.J. Klune. I have one more book left for both series. And so I'm getting closer because do I have both of them? I have both of them from the library currently. I don't know when I think I'm going to have time to read all of these books at the one time.
Twice he said to me, Brother Song's next. I'm reading it next.
Twice.
And then he picked up something completely
and then
different.
I just get distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, it'll happen.
Another thing I said was I wanted to read more of the stories that Augustine Burroughs had read. He wrote a memoir called Running with Scissors, and I had not, a while back, I hadn't realized that he had written other memoir portions. So I read an additional one called Dry. I think we did a video on it.
Yeah.
And then I read a Christmas one, which you'll see I talked about that in our Christmas books.
Mm-hmm.
Really his best of those three was Running with Scissors. I really enjoyed Running with Scissors, and I enjoyed the others less. The Christmas one I enjoyed the least.
Oh, man.
But I feel like, that I did a good enough job of reading more of his books, I can call that done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
All right, so continuing on with finishing some series, I wanted to read Sea Sparrow, which is the latest in the, help me, what is that?
Graceling.
The Graceling series.
Yeah, Kristen Cashore.
Yeah, I can't wait to read that one because I didn't read it yet. So excited for that. And I also wanted to do Once Upon a Broken Heart. I'm going to strike that from the record as well. I'm not going to do that one. Mm-hmm. I've decided I don't really need to after listening to you.
To me talk about it. Yeah, it's more of a Mary book than a Joe book.
Yeah. And I was going to do Percy Jackson, but I'm fooling.
No, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to put it on your resolution, but don't take it off your want to read list. You would like...
you kind of...
But
I don't know.
You know how there's middle grade books that I'm like, ugh, it was a kid's book. It was fine, but it was a kid's book. And then you read it and you freaking love them. That's the difference. Like, I feel like I liked Percy Jackson, but I didn't rave about it. So, like, I think you would love it.
Okay. It'll remain.
We'll see. If he has time.
I have it.
Okay.
What's yours?
Next, I have that I was going to plan my Christmas books ahead of time, and I was going to set a reminder for November to get all the books from the library. Well, I surpassed that. I got all the books in October.
Yeah.
And I read all my Christmas books in November, really in the Christmas spirit, very early, which was wonderful. I just don't know if I'm going to do that again next year, but I did accomplish that goal. I read 12 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure did.
I went a little overboard.
That's what we do here. Okay, so I wanted to read some historical fiction.
Uh-huh.
And I did.
Some?
I read 2. And last year I read 2 as well.
That's hilarious.
So, did I commit or not? I'm not sure if I did that one or not.
The way you stated it, you were like, I want to read
more
historical fiction.
I read the same amount as last year. But I love them so much, though. They were so good.
Oh, my God. You kill me. All right. I said I was going to give Sarah J. Maas another try because I read the first book of Throne of Glass, and I started reading the Crescent City one, and I DNF'd it at maybe like 75 pages in. And I'd heard other people saying how great they were and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, I should really give them another try. So I read the second book in the Throne of Glass series, and I read the whole thing. And there was nothing spectacular to write home about when it was all done. I wasn't needing to be like, oh, this was so great. And I don't know. I don't think I need to continue giving her a try. Even though I love A Court of Thorns and Roses. I love that whole series.
Yeah.
I don't like these other two. I don't know. And so I was going to give Crescent City another try. But the way I stated it in the video was that I was going to give her another try. Mm-hmm. And I was like, done with you.
I love that gesture. Done with you. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And Crescent City is so long.
Yeah. So I was going to listen to it, but my library only has the audiobook in Spanish, which is not helpful.
You've
for
been
me.
there before.
Right. And
Okay.
I was like, since I don't really want to read it, I could audiobook it, but
Maybe they have it in Russian for you. Maybe that would
I
work.
could every 20 words. Da.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Okay, so another one of mine was I wanted to read The Wheel of Time. As I have stated 65 times on this channel.
Uh-huh.
So what did I do? I didn't read it, but I did buy the graphic novels and I watched the TV show.
Does that count?
I'm inching my way. The TV show is great.
Yeah.
It was you would love it.
Awesome.
Watch it.
Okay, I'll check the TV show out. I'm starting to watch a little bit more TV.
It's so good.
That's funny. Okay, then I said I was going to maintain at least one book a week of reading, and I wanted to also maintain entering my books into Goodreads.
Yeah.
And I did that. I exceeded that. My total for the year so far is over 2 books per week, which is pretty cool. And this is the most I've been tracking my books for the past 3 years. This is the most that I've read in the past 3 years. So I'm really stepping it up, which is really nice.
So exciting.
Yeah, I don't want to set my goal higher. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't want to set my goal much higher because I don't want to be pressured to meet that goal. I just want to maintain a nice, reasonable amount of reading. And if I exceed that, it's awesome.
Yeah. All right. This is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm just laughing already. So I wanted to read some memoirs because I like memoirs. Last year I only read 2, which I was so shocked
okay.
about. I didn't read any, but somebody gave me Britney Spears.
Wait. Last year, the year before, 2022, you read 2?
Yeah,
And this year, you read 0.
0. I have Britney's book and I have Matthew Perry's book waiting for me. I'm doing the library audiobook.
Okay.
So maybe by January 1st I'll have one of them done. I don't know. So I've almost completed that one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, but did you say more? You wanted to read more? I don't know, man.
No, not more. Just memoirs.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Just memoirs.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Period.
Okay, so the last thing I said was that I wanted to take a 2-week break from reading, and you were like, why are you gonna do that? Because I wanted to just know, if I wasn't reading, what would fill in the spaces. Because before I was reading, before COVID and I started picking up reading, I think I wasted a lot of time on my phone. So I was like, what would I do if I wasn't reading books? So I tried to not read. It was really hard for me. This was the only thing that I think I failed. I could not go a full 2 weeks without reading a book. I think I went maybe 3 days at most. And I just needed to have a little bit of reading, at least at bedtime, for winding down, or if I woke up in the middle of the night. I like to read in the middle of the night if I can't go back to sleep. And it helps me go back to sleep. So I really could not take a full 2-week break of reading. And I did start watching a little bit more TV.
Yeah.
But so I think if I didn't read books, I'd probably watch more shows, and I'd be able to participate in conversations with normal people that watch TV. And I just don't watch TV all that much. So I feel
Reading is better.
I feel abnormal.
Nah.
So that was it of my last year's resolutions. Did you have any others?
No, it looks like that's it. In analyzing my 2 years here of reading, last year and this year, I found out that I made the wrong resolutions because this year I read 18 graphic novels.
Uh-huh.
I should have had that as one because I had a great year with that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to read all of TJ Klune's back catalog. I read 6, which we're loving so much. Okay, I'm trying to, just let me do this, please.
Yes, you did do good reading, even though you didn't meet your resolutions.
Yeah. And then thrillers I always read, fantasy I always read. Oh, an audiobook, so that's something newer to me.
Uh-huh.
I did 7 this year as opposed to 3 last year.
Okay.
Go me.
Wow, did you make a chart? Look at you.
Yeah.
All these numbers.
Yep.
Very nice.
So, I'm just fun and free. I'm not that rigid and obsessive. This is the difference between the 2 book buds.
Mary is committed and responsible.
Rigid and obsessive.
All right, so what are we going to do for next year? Are you even going to set goals, or are you going to fly free like a bird?
No, I'll set goals. Why not? I don't care if I don't complete them. I had such a great year. I don't care.
I care.
But I'm going to carry through those series that we talked about already.
Oh, so you're going to try and finish the series. Okay.
Yeah, because I really want to.
Uh-huh.
And, all right, I'll go first for my first
Yeah.
one. I want to read I want to read more literary fiction novels. Right now I'm reading Michael Cunningham's Day. It's his new novel. It's called Day. And it's very character driven, and it's just awesome. And I feel like so smart reading it. He's teaching me so many vocabulary words, and I just kind of want more character driven novels.
Okay.
Literary fiction. What's your first one?
My first one? Okay, so I want to read a new Danielle Page because I really liked Stealing Snow, and I've been sad that she hasn't written the second one to that, and it's been a very long time. And because of that, in my mind, I think I love Danielle Page. But then I read Ravens and Monarchs, and they were like okay, but they were not like Stealing Snow for me.
Yeah.
And then I read Dorothy Must Die, and they were not all that fantastic. So she has a new one that just came out, something wishing witch something, and it was something about like a fairy godmother that works for Cinderella, like her backstory or something.
Okay.
Like that. I didn't read too much about it, but it's a new book by her, and I'm wondering, will I like it more? Has she progressed as a writer? Is she passionate about this story, and that's why she's not continuing the other one that I want to read? Maybe she's not passionate about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give her another shot.
Okay.
Yes.
I like all the chances you give them.
You
got to give a fair shot.
I want to really love her, and so many of the other books were just okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I want to read more books about old New York. I love historical fiction, which I do. And I want to read more books about old New York. And there's this author, Jack Finney, who does like awesome like time travel back to New York.
Okay.
Like he incorporates that into it, which I would love that.
Yeah.
So it could be fiction, it could be nonfiction. I just want to read some more books about New York City.
That sounds good. You would enjoy that.
New York City.
You should do it. I want to be better about tracking new books that are coming out of authors that I love. So like Joe typically will send me a text of like, did you know this is coming out? He's the only person that keeps me current on something like a Holly Black book or something, you know, and there's a good handful of people that I should be tracking.
Well, you know how you're going to do that, right?
I follow the author on Goodreads.
She's like,
Is that what I have to do?
You could, but like, all you got to do is follow the author on social media, which you don't do.
No, I don't do that.
Instagram, that's where they tell me all these things.
Yeah, I don't do that. I really don't do social media, guys. It's like.
So how are you going to learn this?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you have any other suggestions other than social media, guys?
So you said follow them on Goodreads.
I was going to make a list. It was going to be like very concrete, Mary OCD. I was going to make a list of my top authors, and I don't know, like every 3 months revisit them on Goodreads to see if they have anything pending or something.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but I would rather do that than go on Instagram. So in addition to that, Holly Black I love. I want to get my son. This is a New Year's resolution for other people.
Oh, Lord.
I want to get
my goodness. Now I've heard it all.
I want to get my son to read, I think it's called The Iron Trials.
Yeah.
I think he would love that series. So he tears through series really quickly. And I think he's going to be ready for that one soon. And I want to just kind of like shove it in front of him and make him read it. My daughter, I would love to get her to read Holly Black. I think she would like Cool Prince. But I don't think that's a realistic one. I'm not going to add that because she's very driven herself for what she wants to read and doesn't need the recommendations so much. She has a lot of books sitting at home waiting to be read. So I don't think I could accomplish that this year.
Okay.
But I want my son to read her.
Okay, so another resolution of mine, it's actually a project for both of us. We're working on reading some banned books. Mm-hmm. We have a list, and we have many on each of our lists. We have very different books, though. Yep. And so we're going to read these banned books and then hopefully like talk about them in the future and do a video.
But this is going to take time because like some of them are books that I'm not eager to read, but I feel like I should read, you know, like To Kill a Mockingbird and Lord of the Flies. Like I absolutely have to read Lord of the Flies. Like I have to make good on that because I should have read it in school and I lied about it big time. I can remember it so clearly. So yeah, I'm going to join you in the banned books. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to finish Clan of the Cave Bears. I want to listen to it in audiobook rather than reading it. But my library doesn't have the audiobooks, so this is going to like take effort because I'm going to do some free trials on like Audible and whatever.
Oh, look at you.
Get the books to just listen to, but I'm not going to keep Audible. So it's going to take a little work for me to get those. And I might have to like actually read one if I can't get them all that way. We'll see what happens.
I'm excited.
But I'm going to try to finish them this year. At least do 2 more of them. There's 3 left. Okay. And then I like you mentioned TJ Klune before. I wanted
Yeah.
to say, if I give another author, like I want to read all this author's works, my next author should really be TJ Klune, because I counted all his books that I ever read, not how many I read this year. All his books I've ever read, I've read 17 of his books. And there's like 20 something more to go. So I don't know that I want to finish all his books this year, but I could try. I could at least put a dent halfway into that, you know? So maybe over the next 2 years.
So that's my next one. My next and last resolution is to continue along with TJ Klune, because I read 7 last year, I read 6 this year, and every one is just better than the next, and I could read him all the time. I just absolutely love him. So.
And then my last thing that I want to do is I want to set up a folder in Goodreads for like my want to read next books, because when it comes time for me to pick a book to read next, I get very annoyed at my want to read folder, because it's just filled with all sorts of crap that
Hundreds.
like, I'm never reading. And I shouldn't say crap, like I want to read them all, but like some of them are recommendations from people that I'm less passionate about. Others, when I put them in there, I was really excited, but I can't remember which is which, you know? I look at
Less
them.
passionate about the people who recommended it, or the books they recommended?
The books they recommended, because like they may not, I only put them in if I like the person and they tell me to read it, I'll put it in as a recommended read. If I don't like the person, I don't put it in. Forget it.
That's good.
But I like to know, like, when I'm looking, I can't remember, like, is this something I really, really wanted to read? I'd like that in a separate folder. So that's going to take a little, like, researchy time for me to sit down and really think about what's in that folder and putting it in a different folder of, like, up next, Mary, you know?
That's a good idea, because I think recently, in the past couple of weeks, I went through my want to read folder on Goodreads and deleted so many books that, you know, you put in there just so you don't forget them.
Right.
And then it's like, just time goes by and I'm like, I'm not interested in this right now.
Right.
So I agree.
See, like, I'm not interested right now, but maybe I could still leave them there for future, you know?
Yeah, but some I was just like, no.
Yeah, I would like a new folder. So that's my final resolution, I think.
I like your resolutions. They're like, you know, following the authors, good read folder. Yeah, that's cool.
I hope you get to some of your resolutions.
Hey, if I do, I do. If not, I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to have fun breaking them if I do.
That's right.
I'm excited. If you're enjoying Book Buds, give us a thumbs up.
And share us with your friends.
And subscribe to our channel, Book Buds. Happy New Year.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.
Okay. All right, so continuing on with finishing. My Lord, how rude. Look at this one.
She the one that waited last time?
I don't know. But before, there was somebody getting in her car, like an older woman, and she was like hearing us, hearing our voices, and she was peering behind the tree. It was right when we first started the video, and if you'll notice when we edit it, I was totally like distracted. I was like, yeah, hi, I'm right here.
Oh my God, my phone is recording everything I'm saying right now.
Is
Should we say anything about our channel or just close that?
I got distracted. I'm very hungry. I really hope it's recording too.
I was thinking the same thing. So let's just sign out.